Hello and welcome to this fourth episode of the Pharmacy Informatics Professor 2020 with your host Armin Simonian. In the previous few episodes, we've talked about defining pharmacy informatics, and in the last episode, we talked about the pathway to becoming a pharmacy informaticist, including specialized education, residencies, or on-the-job experience, and even some luck. One thing I failed to mention in the last episode is we do have resources through national organizations such as ASHP and HIMSS, which both provide continuing education in pharmacy informatics for pharmacists and also certification programs. So this just points out that even in the modern era, I will say in this millennium, we still have new specialties evolving in pharmacy. Pharmacy informatics is one of them. And let me just say that this is one of the reasons why I love pharmacy. Pharmacy is a very interesting and diverse profession, meaning that you can do so many things with pharmacy. You can work in industry, in acute care setting, ambulatory care, the retail setting. You can be a researcher. You can do so many different things. There are a lot of different specialties. And if you don't like what you see, and you're interested in something else, and there isn't a specialty right now within pharmacy, you can really bring together those interests and the profession of pharmacy and create something new. There's nothing stopping you, and this is kind of the path that I took 25 years ago, 30 years ago, when I started specializing in pharmacy computer systems before we had the specialty of pharmacy informatics. So if you look at pharmacy and you say, well, I don't really see what I like to do here, but I do have an interest in this area, bring them together. Make your own specialty. You never know. It might be recognized by the profession, and you might have a certification program of your own in the future. So with that, let's just review that we've talked about pharmacy informatics. We've talked about applying information technology and automation to the medication use process. And today what I'd like to do is take a step further and talk about how to become a pharmacy entrepreneur. Let me bring up my little presentation here, and we can get started with talking about innovation and entrepreneurship with pharmacy informatics. All right, so let me just reiterate that you always want to be a pharmacist first. So in order to be an entrepreneur in this area, you first have to be a good pharmacist and know pharmacy practice and workflow. And if you specialize in information technology, that's something that you should know. You should be a good pharmacy informaticist. And from there, then you can be innovative and entrepreneurial, and maybe think up a new application, a robot, a device, something that's going to help us improve patient care, improve med safety, improve the efficiency and effectiveness of our pharmacy operations. So these are the goals: improving that efficiency, and then the therapy, effectiveness of therapy and health outcomes. We want to improve those. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we have safe medication practices, that we're making our therapies safer, and avoiding those adverse drug events. So we're going to look at the med use process. We're going to see what we've done to date with applying information technology and automation to the medication use process, and then think about where the gaps might be. And for the greater good, think of new applications that we might apply here, and create new businesses and maybe even new specialties or subspecialties within information technology. All right, let me step back and go back to my teenage years when I was starting high school. And believe it or not, when I was starting high school, none of these technologies existed. Can you imagine a world where you don't have cell phones, smartphones, text messaging, and Googling something and working on your iPad or tablet computer or even having a laptop. None of these existed. And that was my starting point. Laptops didn't come out until the 1980s. And, Apple launched their first personal computer back in the late 70s. In the early 80s, the IBM PC came out, and it used this operating system from this new company called Microsoft, MS-DOS. And so all of that was starting around that time. And that was the point where pharmacists like me were starting to realize that, hey, this personal computer could really revolutionize the practice of pharmacy. Well, we've come a long way, and we have a lot of new technologies now, as you know. And most of you probably grew up with tablet computers and smartphones in your hand, even at a young age, and started messaging and talking to Siri and Alexa, and having your smartwatch that counts your steps and keeps track of your heartbeats, and other devices like 3D printing and the whole realm of social media. So what I would like you to do is think about the medication use process going all the way back to when a drug is manufactured and then received in the pharmacy and stored, ordered and dispensed and administered to the patient, and documented as being given, and then monitored to see if our therapy is effective. And think about these new technologies, because that's what other people are doing. That's how these businesses have evolved. That's how Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Elon Musk and all these people are becoming rich. Look what's happening with pharmacy dispensing, with online pharmacies. Amazon has bought PillPack, an online pharmacy, and United Health now has bought DiviDose. And there are other online pharmacies waiting in the wings to be bought and brought to the forefront. And now, when we see our doctor, our prescriber, our PA, or whoever our primary is, we're doing it via telehealth, video chat. So at my last visit, I talked to my doctor over video chat, and he electronically transferred a prescription to my pharmacy, and my pharmacy was able to deliver that medication to my house. And all of this was done when we were not in person. In the past, people were shying away from telehealth, telemedicine, telepharmacy, because they wanted that interaction. And before COVID, we were able to do that quite easily. Nowadays, it's a lot safer and more convenient to just do that telephone call or video chat from home, and have the prescription filled online and delivered to the house, maybe even by a drone, which is being tested out by a number of companies. So I'm just trying to get you to think about the whole medication use process, all the new technologies that are available to us. And then what we can do is look at this entire process, see where the current technologies are, and then look for the gaps and try to think up something new. So we can find a better way of dispensing medications, of making IVs, of prescribing, applying intelligence to our systems, even administering to the patient. We also have consumer health or digital health, where we're starting to use mobile devices to have people at home really kind of monitor and take care of themselves and transmit that information to their providers. And that's been mainly so far through smartphones and tablet computers. And we're seeing new ideas such as medicine vials that have smarts in them, something that talks in the cap or transmits information every time the vial is open, pacemakers, glucometers, devices that are built into our smartphones. We even have smart pills or smart tablets. When they're swallowed and they get into the stomach acid, they can be activated to send out a signal to show that the patient is adherent with their drug regimen. So a lot of new ideas, a lot of opportunities here for new technologies. Just try to focus in on data analytics. So we're collecting all this incredible information from all of these devices and our electronic health records. So we do want to analyze that to make sure that we're doing the right thing, to find out where we can do a better job. We want to look at operational efficiency, making our pharmacy departments more efficient so that the pharmacist has more time to be involved with the patient, with clinical activities, with counseling. In terms of education and counseling, we want to be better at educating our healthcare colleagues, such as the doctors and nurses, and at the same time, make sure that our patients are aware of their medications and how to take them and what to look out for through counseling. Med safety is very important, medication safety, so we want to think about new technologies, new automation, things that can help us provide safer medication therapy. And one of those can be artificial intelligence, where we have the computer with some smarts to help us not only with checking for allergies and interactions and dosages, but going beyond that, anticipating events, anticipating adverse events, or looking for ways to improve therapy and guide us with our prescribing. With that, I'll say, think about information technology and automation applied to the medication use process. Think about gaps, think about opportunities. Become a pharmacy informatics entrepreneur. Develop something new. And don't do it for the fame and the fortune. Do it for the greater good. Do it for our patients' health. Let's have better outcomes, fewer adverse drug events. And if you do well in the meantime financially, then great. But do it for the right reasons. And let's move information technology forward. Let's move pharmacy informatics forward. Let's do a better job with our technologies and automation so that we can provide better care to our patients. If this was helpful to you, got you to think a little bit, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to my channel. That will encourage me to make more videos like this and to get into some of the basics of teaching pharmacy informatics. And I will thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, look after the health of others, and we'll see you next time. Take care.